Imagine holding in your hand a small piece of metal that seems ordinary at first glance, but within its shine and its history lies a secret that could change everything. Forever, these are not just coins. These are stories sealed in silver and copper, tales of states' legacies and hidden treasures. Waiting to be discovered today, I will take you on a journey through 3 extraordinary coins, each one carrying a mystery that has fascinated collectors across America for decades. The first coin takes us back to 1999, the Connecticut state $quarter coin with its legendary design of the charter oak, a tree that became a symbol of hidden power and unshakable resilience. The second coin transports us to 2007, the Utah state $quarter coin, showcasing the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, a meeting of 2 worlds captured forever in one piece of currency. And then comes the third coin, the 2014 Great Sand Dunes National Park $quarter coin, where towering dunes and mountain backdrops blend into a breathtaking image, a natural wonder forever pressed into a quarter. Stay with me until the very end, because the secrets these 3 coins hide are far beyond what you imagine. Coin number 1 takes us back to the year 1999, a year that marked the beginning of one of the most ambitious coin programs in United States history, the 50 State Quarters program, launched by the U.S. Mint to honor every state with its own unique design. And it was in that very first year that the Connecticut state $quarter coin was released. A coin that at first glance seems simple, yet carries with it a story of resilience, history, and an unexpected journey into the world of high-value collecting. Picture it. The obverse side of this coin bears the familiar portrait of George Washington facing left, his sharp features crafted by John Flanagan, his hair tied in a neat queue, a design first used on quarters decades before, yet reimagined for this historic program. But flip the coin and you are greeted by something extraordinary. The reverse design chosen to represent Connecticut was none other than the charter oak, a sprawling, ancient tree, its massive branches extending outward like veins across the surface. It was not just a tree. It was a symbol of resistance and freedom. The very oak under which Connecticut colonists are said to have hidden their royal charter from British authorities in 1687, preserving their right to self-govern against the crown. This coin was more than metal. It was history pressed into circulation. But here is where the story begins to take a twist, because not every Connecticut quarter is the same to collectors. Subtle variations matter. The slightest difference can transform a 25-cent piece into something numismatically priceless. And that is exactly why this coin has become one of the most talked about pieces in American collecting circles. Now imagine for a moment holding a handful of Connecticut quarters, some circulated, worn dull from use, others shining with untouched brilliance. The difference between them could be the difference between a coin worth face value and a coin worth millions. This is where grading enters the picture. In the world of numismatics, grading is everything. Professional grading companies like PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company, are the giants who certify coins. Their labels often determine the true value of a piece. A Connecticut quarter graded MS-67 or MS-68 mint state is already worth thousands. But when one reaches the ultimate perfection, MS-70, it becomes a treasure. Beyond belief, collectors understand this language. Mint state proof, clad broad strike double. Die error, every word adds weight to the mystery. Every grade creates a new level of value. The Connecticut quarter is especially fascinating because so many were struck, yet only a handful have survived in immaculate condition, untouched by circulation, sealed away perhaps the very day they were minted. And here lies the suspense. Many people today might unknowingly have one of these quarters in an old jar or hidden in a collection passed down by grandparents. Yet they do not know its potential. Imagine a viewer watching this video and suddenly remembering that dusty coin collection in a drawer. What if a Connecticut quarter sits there? What if it is one of the rarest variations? What if it carries a story worth $8 million? But before revealing its staggering value, let us deepen the details about this coin. Its diameter is 26 millimeters, the standard size of a quarter. Its thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, and it weighs 5.67 grams, composed primarily of a copper core clad with nickel, giving it that silvery shine collectors instantly recognize. Yet these numbers, though seemingly ordinary, hold the foundation of its value. Because every authentic Connecticut quarter must match these specifications, deviations are red flags for counterfeits, and in a market where millions of dollars can be exchanged, authentication is critical condition as well plays a central role. A coin graded as circulated with scratches and wear may only be worth a small premium, while one kept pristine, perhaps sealed directly from the mint in a proof set, can cross into the realm of extreme value. Numismatists use magnifiers to examine luster, strike sharpness, and contact marks. These tiny details separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Now let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer in the comments below. Do you own any state quarters from the 1999 series, maybe Connecticut, maybe Delaware or Pennsylvania? Tell me in the comments, and who knows, you might be sitting on something rare. And if you are enjoying the suspense and the knowledge I am sharing, make sure to subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because every week we uncover the secrets behind coins that might just be hiding in your home. But the suspense does not end there, because within the Connecticut quarter, there are varieties and minting errors that have shaken the collecting world. For instance, broad-struck errors where the design is struck off-center, leaving an unusual border, or double-die obverse and reverse varieties, where the design elements are duplicated, slightly misaligned. These errors are not flaws. They are treasures, because collectors crave uniqueness and the market responds accordingly. A normal coin may be worth little, but an error coin certified by PCGS or NGC can leap into the thousands instantly. Now imagine combining rarity with perfection. One flawless Connecticut quarter with an extraordinary error sealed in a protective case graded at the highest level. This is where ordinary metal transforms into fortune, and that is exactly what has happened with one specimen of the Connecticut State Quarter. But before we reveal the shocking value, let us pause here to explore the deeper numismatic meaning behind the 50 State Quarters program. This program introduced millions of Americans to coin collecting. It brought new energy into the hobby and created countless new collectors, but it also flooded the market with billions of coins, leading many to assume that none of them could ever be rare. Yet history teaches us otherwise. Rarity does not always come from low mintage. Sometimes it comes from perfection, from survival against the odds, from that one coin that escaped scratches, fingerprints, and decades of circulation. Stay tuned, because in the next step, we will reveal exactly how much this coin is worth. Today, how to sell it, where to sell it, and why the Connecticut State Quarter has etched its name forever in the world of high-stakes coin collecting. Now that you know the history, the details, the grading, and the hidden secrets of the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter dollar, it is time to answer the question every collector has been waiting for. How much can this coin truly be worth? Imagine this, a piece of currency created for only 25 cents suddenly rising to the status of one of the most valuable state quarters ever discovered, and the number will leave you speechless, because this coin in its rarest condition has been valued at an unbelievable $8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $8 million for a single quarter. But how is such a leap in value even possible? It all comes down to rarity and condition. Out of the hundreds of millions struck, only a microscopic fraction have survived in flawless state, those that remain untouched since the day of minting, coins that somehow avoided the tiniest contact marks. The faintest scratch or the smallest dulling of their natural luster are considered numismatic miracles. Grading companies such as PCGS and NGC place these coins under magnification and harsh lighting. Every flaw is noted, every imperfection lowers the grade, but when a Connecticut quarter emerges as nearly perfect, it rises above the rest, and collectors with deep pockets are willing to compete at auction for the privilege of ownership. The story of the $8 million Connecticut quarter is one of myth and reality combined. Yes, some coins graded as Mint State 68 have already sold for thousands, but it is the theoretical perfect specimen with extraordinary provenance and error potential that creates the jaw-dropping valuation. Imagine a coin discovered with a dramatic minting error, yet preserved in untouched condition. Such a coin is considered priceless because it is literally one of a kind. When rarity meets demand, price has no ceiling. And this is exactly why this quarter has been whispered about in numismatic circles as the coin that redefined state quarter collecting forever. Now let us talk about how you can sell such a coin and what steps you need to take if you ever believe you have discovered one. First, never clean the coin. Cleaning strips away the original surface and destroys value instantly. Even wiping it with a cloth can reduce thousands of dollars from its worth. The first step is authentication. Send your coin to a trusted grading service, PCGS or NGC. These companies will place your coin in a tamper-proof slab, assign it a grade, and provide legitimacy that buyers trust without their certification. The market value of your coin is a fraction of its potential. Once graded, the next step is deciding where to sell. You could approach a major auction house, such as Heritage Auctions, or Stack's Bowers, where wealthy collectors gather for high-end bidding wars. These venues often bring the highest possible price because they attract global attention. Alternatively, you could consign it to an online platform partnered with certified grading services, ensuring the security of your transaction. But beware of casual marketplaces or pawn shops, as they often undervalue coins dramatically. Another option is private sale, where serious collectors pay premium prices for the chance to secure a rare piece without competition. But this path requires deep knowledge of the buyer's reputation and careful contracts, because an $8 million coin is not a transaction to be taken lightly. Collectors often use escrow services or deal through established dealers to ensure safety. So how do you know if the coin in your collection is extraordinary? The truth is, you must look at three things first. Its condition, the fewer the marks and the brighter the luster, the better. Second, its strike quality, the sharpness of the charter oak design, the clarity of George Washington's portrait. Every detail must be crisp and well defined. Third, the possibility of an error. A double die, broad strike or misaligned strike can elevate the coin's rarity instantly. If you have all three, perfection, clarity, and uniqueness, then you may be holding the key to unimaginable fortune. But here is something that most beginners forget in the world of numismatics. Patience is power. The value of these coins rises with time as more are lost, damaged, or forgotten. Rarity only increases with the years to come, so even if you are not ready to sell today, holding on to a graded and certified Connecticut quarter could mean a larger payday tomorrow. Now, let us tie this back to you. The viewer, ask yourself this. Do you have a collection of quarters sitting in jars, drawers, or albums, maybe even untouched mint rolls from 1999? This could be your chance to discover a hidden treasure, and if you are excited by this journey, hit the like button right now and subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because in the next part of this series we are moving on to another jaw-dropping coin that continues this incredible saga. And let me say this to you, if you truly love coin history and the thrill of discovering hidden wealth, leave a comment below and tell me what coin you are most curious about. And if this video has opened your eyes to the potential value in everyday change, consider sending a super thanks. It helps us continue creating content that uncovers the secrets of the numismatic world. So we close the chapter on coin number 1, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter, a coin that began as a tribute to a state's heritage and transformed into an $8 million legend. But the story is far from over, because as the years passed and the state quarters program continued, more treasures emerged, and one in particular would shock collectors in 2007, a coin with a design that marked the meeting of two worlds and the triumph of the American spirit, a coin that carries a value of $5 million. Stay with me, because coin number 2, the 2007 Utah State Quarter Dollar coin, is about to reveal its mysteries, and I promise you what lies ahead will keep you guessing until the very end. Coin number 2 takes us further into the incredible story of the United States State Quarter program, and this time we land in the year 2007. The program was nearing its final stages, and yet one coin emerged to capture attention like few others: the Utah State Quarter Dollar coin. This was more than a quarter. It was a celebration of unity, progress, and the triumph of human determination. It commemorated the driving of the Golden Spike, the final connection that completed the transcontinental railroad, a moment that forever linked the eastern and western United States. On the obverse side, once again, is the classic portrait of George Washington, created by John Flanagan, modified for the State Quarter series, yet it is the reverse design that makes the Utah Quarter stand apart. Two locomotives face each other head-to-head, steam billowing into the air, and between them a symbolic golden spike marks the spot of their meeting. The words "Crossroads of the West" arch proudly across the Design reminding every viewer of Utah's place in American history. It was not just a coin, it was a story of progress and achievement pressed into metal. But as we have already learned from the Connecticut quarter history, and beauty alone, do not make a coin worth millions. What elevates a 25-cent piece to staggering heights is rarity condition and collector demand. So let us unravel the mystery of the Utah quarter and understand why a piece that millions carried in their pockets could in its rarest form be valued at an extraordinary $5 million. First, let us begin with the technical details. The Utah State Quarter, like its siblings in the series, carries a diameter of 26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams. It is clad in a composition of copper and nickel over a pure copper core. Its mint marks appear either as D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, depending on where it was struck, while proof versions were struck at the San Francisco Mint in both clad and silver varieties to collectors. These details are not just numbers. They are essential for authentication, because every genuine quarter must meet these specifications before it is even considered for grading. Now we dive into the world of grading, where perfection is the dividing line between pocket change and fortune. A Utah quarter found in circulation with scratches, dullness, and wear is worth only its face value, but one that has been preserved in flawless condition can reach astronomical heights. The professional grading services, PCGS and NGC, examine Utah quarters under magnification, noting the sharpness of the railroad engines, the clarity of the steam, the luster of the fields, and the absence of contact marks. Mint State 68 examples already draw collector interest. Mint State 69s are rare jewels, and Mint State 70 perfection is so scarce that it elevates the coin into legendary status. Why is the Utah quarter so significant beyond its design? It came at a time when the state quarter program had reignited public fascination with coin collecting. Millions of Americans were saving quarters from circulation, hoping to complete full state sets. But what many did not realize was that within those billions, a few exceptional coins stood apart, a small handful untouched, sealed directly from mint rolls or proof sets hidden away in safety for years. These are the coins that today fuel the multi-million-dollar valuations. But there is another layer of suspense hidden within the Utah quarter, because errors play a powerful role in determining value. Imagine a double die obverse where the inscriptions appear, doubled, slightly shifted under magnification. Imagine a dramatic broad strike error where the coin's rim is distorted, leaving the design off-centered, or an off-metal strike where the Utah design appears on the wrong planche. These minting accidents are not flaws to collectors. They are miracles, every one of them unique and every one of them capable of driving value into the thousands, and in combination with high mint state grades into the millions. Now picture the scene: an auction hall filled with elite collectors bidding. Paddles ready, a flawless Utah State quarter certified by PCGS as Mint State 70, sitting under the spotlight, perhaps with an unusual error on its surface. The bidding begins. Thousands become hundreds of thousands climb into millions until finally the hammer falls and history is made. $5 million for a single Utah quarter. The question then arises, why do collectors pay such vast sums? And the answer lies in rarity, prestige, and the eternal desire to own something no one else possesses. Coins are history you can hold. They are artifacts of a nation's journey, and when rarity and perfection combine, they transform into treasures that transcend their humble origins. The Utah quarter is one of those treasures, a symbol of America's progress, now enshrined in the world of elite numismatics. But before we reveal the full scope of its $5 million valuation, let us pause and consider you, the viewer. Do you have any Utah quarters tucked away in your change jar or hidden in your coin collection from the years you were casually saving state quarters during the 2000s? Perhaps you never thought to look closely at their condition. But what if within those coins is one that could change your life forever? Imagine the thrill of discovering a flawless specimen or a rare error in a collection you have had for years. If this excites you, if the possibility of holding hidden treasure in your very home thrills you, then do me a favor and press the like button right now. It helps more people discover the secrets of the coin world, and make sure you subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because our journey through America's rarest coins has only just begun. But for now, stay with me, because In the next step, we will reveal exactly how to identify the Utah quarter that could be worth $5 million, where to send it for grading, and how to sell it for its maximum value. The secrets of coin number 2 are about to unfold, and what comes next will leave you with even greater curiosity. The time has come to reveal the truth about the Utah State Quarter, and why in its rarest form it commands an astonishing value of $5 million. The story begins with billions of quarters released into circulation, yet out of those only a tiny handful were struck with flawless precision preserved from the moment of minting, and in some cases paired with extraordinary minting errors. These are the specimens that collectors crave. They are the legends whispered about in numismatic circles. Imagine holding a Utah quarter where every line of the locomotives is razor sharp, where the golden spike shines with perfect clarity under magnification, where not a single mark or blemish disturbs the brilliant luster. This is what PCGS and NGC search for when assigning the elite grade of Mint State 70, a grade so rare that most coins never achieve it. The difference between MS69 and MS70 might be a single microscopic flaw, yet that difference can mean millions in value. Now consider the effect of a mint error on top of perfection, a double die strike that gives the steam of the trains a ghostly second outline, an off-center broad strike that shifts the entire design, a wrong planche strike where the Utah design appears on a dime blank. These combinations are not just rare. They are one of a kind, and in numismatics, one of a kind is where true fortune lies. Auction houses have documented how Utah quarters in high mint state grades already sell for thousands. But the legendary $5 million valuation comes from the theoretical perfect specimen, a flawless coin combined with extraordinary rarity, a coin that represents not just money, but history and prestige. The collector who owns it does not simply own a quarter. They own the very crossroads of American progress captured in metal. Now let us turn to the practical side. What should you do if you believe you have a Utah quarter that might be special? The first rule: never clean it. Do not polish it. Do not rub it even. A small wipe with a cloth can erase its natural surfaces and destroy value. The second rule is authentication. Send it to PCGS or NGC. They will examine it, assign it a grade, and preserve it in a tamper-proof holder known as a slab. This step is non-negotiable. Without grading, your coin cannot reach its true market potential. Once graded, you have several selling options if you want to reach the highest bidders. Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers are world-renowned for selling million-dollar coins. They attract global collectors who trust their platforms and compete fiercely for rare pieces. You could also explore Great Collections, an online auction house trusted for graded coins. If you prefer a private sale, work with a respected numismatic dealer who has experience in high-value transactions. They can connect you with elite collectors, but always ensure contracts and escrow services are in place to protect both sides, because a $5 million transaction is no small matter. Now, let us consider how to identify whether your Utah quarter has potential. First, examine the design under magnification. Look at the clarity of the steam rising from the locomotives, the sharpness of the golden spike, and the strength of the rim weak strikes or flat details lower the grade. Second, observe the luster. Does the coin glow with an unbroken mirror-like surface, or has it dulled from contact? Third, check for unusual traits: double dies off center, strikes planche errors. These are the golden tickets to rarity. If your coin has these signs and remains pristine, it could be one of the few capable of staggering valuations. Condition always rules in numismatics. A coin that survived in circulation, no matter how historic, cannot match the perfection of one sealed in. Mint sets are preserved from the very start. This is why collectors often chase proof versions as well, struck in San Francisco. In limited numbers, proofs carry mirror fields and frosted devices. Though not all proofs are rare, those with special traits or errors rise above the rest. Think about it this way. Millions of people touch the Utah quarter in their daily lives, buying coffee, paying for gas, tossing change into jars, yet among all those common coins lies the possibility of a hidden treasure waiting for discovery, maybe even in your possession right now. So I ask you, viewers, do you remember saving any Utah quarters back in 2007 or later? Do you still have them tucked away in drawers, albums, or rolls? Comment below and let me know what you have. Your story could be the next big discovery. And while you are here, if this journey excites you, hit the like button and subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because we are only 2 coins into this adventure, and the final one will shock you even more. The Utah quarter teaches us that history captured in metal can transform into wealth beyond imagination. But what comes next is even greater, because after Utah, the United States Mint continued its mission to honor America through its parks and historic sites. And in 2014, one particular design took center stage: the Great Sand Dunes National Park. Quarter a coin with beauty unmatched by any other, and a coin that in its rarest form is valued at $13 million. Stay with me, because coin number 3 is about to begin, and the story behind it will leave you speechless. Coin number 3 takes us to the year 2014, and to one of the most breathtaking natural wonders in the United States, the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. Imagine towering dunes stretching across the horizon, their golden waves set against the backdrop of rugged snow-capped mountains, a landscape that seems otherworldly and yet rests within America's borders. This stunning beauty became the inspiration for one of the most memorable quarters ever struck as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and it is here that our final story begins. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and refined by sculptor William Cousins, a face that by now every collector knows, but the reverse is where the true magic lies. The design shows a father and child playing at the edge of a sandy creek, with the massive dunes rising behind them, and the majestic Sangre de Cristo Mountains towering even further in the distance. It is not just a coin. It is a window into one of the most remarkable national parks in the United States, a celebration of nature, family, and the timeless bond between generations. But beneath this beauty lies a secret that has electrified the world of numismatics, because while billions of quarters entered circulation, only a handful of the Great Sand Dunes quarters exist in extraordinary perfection, and among them whispers of rare errors and unique strikes have transformed this coin from simple change into a multi-million-dollar legend. Today we know that in its rarest form, this coin has reached a valuation of $13 million, an amount so staggering that it places this quarter among the most valuable pieces of modern coinage ever known. Before we reveal why, let us first understand the technical foundation of this coin. It measures 26 millimeters in diameter, stands 1.75 millimeters thick, and weighs 5.67 grams, composed of copper and nickel, clad over a copper core, just like its predecessors. Proof versions struck in San Francisco were minted in both clad and 90% silver versions, offering collectors another avenue of rarity. But whether clad or silver, every coin must meet these exact specifications. Otherwise, authenticity is called into question. The key to unlocking its value lies in grading once again. The giants of certification, PCGS and NGC, step into the spotlight. Their role is to examine each coin under powerful magnification, assigning it a grade that determines its place in the market. Mint State 67 is excellent. Mint State 68 is elite. Mint State 69 is legendary. But Mint State 70 is perfection, a state so rare that only a handful of Great Sand Dunes quarters have ever achieved it. The flawless strike, the untouched surfaces, the shimmering luster, all combine to create a masterpiece in metal, and it is these coins that collectors chase with unrelenting passion. Yet there is more. The Great Sand Dunes quarter has become infamous for error varieties that further enhance its mystique. Consider a double die obverse, where the inscriptions appear ghostly, doubled under magnification, or a broad strike, where the rim is distorted, leaving the image stretched across the surface. Or perhaps the most remarkable wrong planche strikes, where the Great Sand Dunes design appears on the wrong metal blank. These errors transform a coin from rare to priceless, and when paired with top-level grading, they create a perfect storm for astronomical value. Why does this coin in particular inspire such high valuations? It is not only the rarity, but the symbolism it carries. The Great Sand Dunes National Park represents something eternal, the blending of human connection with natural wonder. The design itself is unlike any other quarter in the series, and collectors recognize this uniqueness. As cultural and numismatic significance, the demand for flawless examples of this coin is higher than nearly any other modern issue, And with limited supply, the market has driven its value to heights that seem almost unreal. Picture for a moment an elite coin auction. A flawless PCGS certified Mint State 70. Great Sand Dunes quarter placed on display. The bidding begins. Whispers fill the room. Collectors from around the world raise their paddles. The price climbs past $1 million, then $2, then $5, until finally the hammer falls at $13 million. The crowd erupts and numismatic history is made. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of how collectors treat the finest rarities in existence. But now let us shift back to you, the viewer, because the question that matters most is this. What if you have one of these coins, perhaps not in perfection, but maybe in a high-grade proof set, tucked away from 2014, maybe even an error quarter unnoticed in your collection? So you could be holding on to something life-changing. And here is the suspense before we reveal how to identify these coins and exactly how to sell them for their true potential. Take a moment to subscribe to Coin Value Guide right now, because knowledge is the first step to discovery. And together we are uncovering treasures that the world thought were lost in plain sight. Stay with me, because in the next step, we will unlock the secrets behind the $13 million Great Sand Dunes quarter. How to spot it, how to protect it, and how to sell it to the right buyer. And finally, we will close this incredible journey with a powerful message that every coin collector must hear. The mystery of the Great Sand Dunes quarter reaches its peak now, and the answer you have been waiting for is finally here in its rarest form. This coin has been valued at an almost unbelievable $13 million. Yes, a coin created for 25 cents now stands as one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. $13 million for a single piece of metal struck in 2014. And the reasons why are both numismatic and historic. First comes condition. Perfection is everything when it comes to coin value. And for the Great Sand Dunes quarter, a coin that survived without the faintest blemish, the slightest scratch, or the most minor imperfection, is considered a miracle. PCGS and NGC have graded only a handful at the elite Mint State 70 level, the grade of absolute perfection, the grade where luster, strike, and detail combine into flawless beauty. These few coins are the ones that climb into millions, and when combined with special traits such as mint errors or unusual provenance, the value soars into the realm of legends. Second comes rarity. Errors on this coin have become some of the most fascinating in the America. The beautiful series double dies, where inscriptions like Great Sand Dunes or United States of America appear. Faintly doubled broad strikes where the rim expands in unnatural ways, and wrong planche strikes where the design lands on the wrong blank. Each one is a unique accident of history, and collectors do not see these as mistakes. They see them as treasures. When rarity and perfection intersect, the price has no limit, and this is how the $13 million valuation was born. But the third and perhaps most important reason is demand, because this coin represents something more than metal. It represents a scene of nature, family, and timeless beauty, a father and child playing by the dunes framed against the grandeur of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. It is a design that stirs emotion, and collectors chase not only the coin, but the feeling it inspires. The more people want it, the higher the bidding rises, and when the bidding rises into the millions, history is made. Now let us turn to the question that every viewer must ask. How do you know if your coin could be one of these rare examples? First, examine its condition. If it looks flawless, keep it untouched, never polish, never clean. Never attempt to improve its shine. Even the smallest interference can strip away natural surfaces and lower its value. Next, send it to a grading service. PCGS or NGC will examine it under magnification, seal it in a protective holder, and assign the grade that will determine its worth. Without this certification, no collector will pay premium value. But with it, the coin enters the world stage as an authenticated treasure once your coin is graded. The next step is selling, and this must be done carefully because a coin of this magnitude is not something you casually list online. Your first option is a major auction house. Heritage Auction, Stack's Bowers, or Legend Rare Coin Auctions. These venues attract elite collectors and international bidders willing to pay record prices. They also provide security and marketing to ensure your coin gets maximum attention. Your second option is a private sale through a respected dealer. But this requires caution contracts and escrow services to guarantee safety, because $13 million is no ordinary transaction. Think of it this way. Every coin has two lives. The first as simple currency, the second as collectible history, and in the case of the Great Sand Dunes Quarter, its second life has elevated it into one of the greatest numismatic treasures of modern times. Now imagine for a moment that you open a forgotten drawer or a small collection, passed down from family, and inside is a 2014 Great Sand Dunes Quarter. Maybe from a proof set, maybe from circulation, maybe even with an unusual error. You hold it up to the light and wonder, could this be the one? Could this be the coin? Worth $13 million, that feeling of possibility is what keeps collectors searching year after year. And that is why coin collecting is not just a hobby, it is a treasure hunt. So to every viewer listening right now, I invite you to check your coins. Look, closely pay attention to details and never underestimate the power of what you hold. And while you are here, do not forget to subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because we are just beginning this journey together. Every week, we uncover more secrets, more treasures, and more hidden stories in the coins of the United States. If you enjoyed this journey through three of America's most extraordinary quarters, the Connecticut Quarter, the Utah Quarter, and the Great Sand Dunes Quarter, then please give this video a like and share it with others who may have coins hidden in their homes. And if you feel inspired to support this channel, consider sending a super thanks. Your support helps us continue revealing the mysteries of the numismatic world. And as we close, remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes those stories are worth more than you ever imagined. So keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing, because the next coin you find could be the one that changes everything.